Frost is one of many status effects in Elden Ring, but it often gets overshadowed by its big brother Bleed, which is weird to me because, like Bleed, Frost builds up and procs on enemies, dealing a sizable chunk of damage, but it also applies a debuff where enemies take 20% more damage for 30 seconds after it goes off, which is obviously a great added benefit. 7,000, Jesus Christ. So I decided to answer the question, how good is Frost in Elden Ring? For this run, I will only use weapons, spells, and items that do Frost, and see exactly how good it is as I go through and beat every remembrance boss with my icy arsenal. Let's get into it. Every great Elden Ring run starts with one thing, rizzing up the Huz and accepting her dowry in the form of a mystical donkey to travel the lands between. I can't actually kill anything yet though, so my next step is getting my hands on my first Frost weapon. Fortunately, in Liurnia there is a random chest in some runes that has the Ice Rind Hatchet. Once the most OP weapon in the game that has since been nerfed hard, but it'll work for us to get started. Using that, I can murder Alex for the Warrior Jar Shard to buff any icy ashes of ore we find, before grabbing all the usual stuff you need to start a run. The Physic Flask, the Charge Attack Tier and Talisman, Dectus Medallion halves, number 1 and 2, along with Radagon's Nut, and boom, we have most of our gear and the ability to get to Altus. Before we get moving on killing stuff, I just have 2 more stops. First, I decide to drop in at Round Table and get some armor so I don't look quite as chopped. And finally, I upgrade my hatchet to +1 with a Somber Stone I grabbed while running around. With all that done, it's time to take on Stormveil and our first boss, the Murder Hobo himself. Alright, so for our first boss, we got Ice Rind Hatchet +1, we got some clothes, we got Warrior Jar Shard, 6 +2 flasks, Spike Tier, Green Spill, Crystal Tier. You kind of just test the damage here. Big. How's the charge attack look? Big. Hoarfrost Stomp. Still, I mean, not crazy. How's his poise? Oof. Surely this is a poise break. What I do love about Frost is his defense being weaker right here. Like, just always getting extra damage. 'Cause a lot of people like the reset on Frost. Use a fire weapon, reset, get more Frost. But not the biggest fan of that. Oh, that was early dodge. Does that go that far? Nice. Alright, man. I'll keep using this. It's not good, but it does do damage. Alright. You know what? Not bad. That was a respectable start. Now that we know Frost can be decent, let's see how good we can make it. First things first, let's take levels in Strength and Dexterity to prepare for better weapons, and now it's time to find a better weapon. To do that, I head down to Shifro where we can find the Dragonkin Soldier. Since I'm a very low level, I did have a minor incident here. This guy is genuinely tough, and I perhaps overestimated myself with no Vig and a +1 weapon coming down here, but I am nothing if not stubborn, so I stick it out and eventually bring down the undead Dragon Man, giving me the Dragon Halberd. This is perhaps one of the strongest early game weapons in the game. This is due to the Ice Lightning buff it gains on the Ash of War. This both gives the weapon the Frost status effect and gives you a flat damage buff that feels really good early on. So I upgrade this wonderful poking stick and also pick up Hoarfrost Stomp nearby to make any weapons Frost if needed. From there I can run a little farther on to the Erdtree avatar by the Madness Village. He's quick work because I've killed hundreds of these boys, but he drops a very key item for me, the Magic Shrouding Crack Tier. This buffs magic damage by 20%, which is pretty massive since most Frost weapons come with magic damage and all Frost infusions will give a weapon magic damage. So yeah, that's going to be one of my workhorse items for most of this run. After saying all that, I did also want the Lightning Tier for this Dragon Halberd, and that's why I went there, so that worked out really well for me. With all this new juicy stuff in hand, it's time to face off with Margit's lil bro. Alright, Dragon Halberd +3. We'll go Warrior Jar Shard for the Ash of War, Axe Talisman, then Lightning Tier, Spike Tier. Let's actually drink the Physic Flask and test out Ice Lightning, gentlemen. We came in here earlier without the Physic Flask, and it already looked good. But I would love to see this. Is this going to be a trade? Yeah. Good trade. I'm fine with it. Get that. Let's try to get a charge attack here. Boom, boom. Oh yeah, he's hurting. Give me a frost. There it is. Oh, didn't get the riposte. That's really strong damage for the phase transition, actually. Uh-oh. Jesus Christ. GG's. Yeah, D-Halb is still just busted this early in the game. Mostly because of the frost. Dope. Moving on, let's head to Karya Manor to get started on Ranni's and Seluvis' quest lines. As always, we are stopped by Occult Horse Girl Loretta. Fortunately, I'm a deft hand with the Horse Girls, and she quickly falls for me, so I can move on. Just past her is Chilling Mist, which truthfully will not be super useful for this run, but maybe I'll find a use for it. But now is the best part of the game. I begin my wooing of Mommy Ranni and become her loyal servant. Well, I would love to pursue her. I will now pivot to the Seluvis questline to get the Magic Scorpion charm. He basically gives me some poison to kill Nepheli, but I just give that to Gideon because I don't murder innocents. This unlocks Seluvis' shop because he now thinks I'm his homie. So I can buy the Icecrag spell, which I can use, as well as 2 puppets from him to progress his quest. To finish this quest, I just need to head up the Dectus lift into Altus to find this fancy Amber Starlight Shard. Now I just give that to Creepy Puppet Man, and boom! Magic Scorpion charm acquired. For those not knowers watching this talisman gives a 12% magic buff in exchange for the user taking 10% more damage. But I just won't get hit, so that's fine. I do still need a new weapon though, so I go ahead and take down one of the mini Night Scavs here in Liurnia to get the Ice Spear Ash of War. Something I rarely use, but have heard a lot about. I then quickly grab the Smithing Bell Bearing 1 and 2 before returning to Stormvale to grab the pike for my Ice Spear. Fun fact, this is the longest spear in the game, and if you use code RADDY at gamersubs.gg, you could have the longest spear out of everyone you know. Now that I have all that, I can upgrade and infuse the pike to prepare it for my next battle. I do also grab Golden Vow since damage buffs are good, and finally make my way through Detroit to fight Elden Ring's Hercules. Alright, gentlemen, it's Radahn time. That was a lot of work, but we do have Golden Vow and a Cold Pike at plus 12, with Warrior Jar Shard, Magic Scorpion, Magic Tear, and the beloved Ice Spear. One of the best Ashes of War in the game. Let's get this fucking bread. Let's get to this ridge, drink this, do this, and hopefully he does the good move select. He does. That's 3 hits, and he is already in phase 1.5. Let's fucking go. Should I get 2 more in here? I get 1. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's a plus 12 weapon. Alright, sick. Ice Spear is still gross. Alright, you want to jump in front of him here so he actually does the phase transition. Or accidentally stagger him. GG's, dude. Holy fuck. That's crazy. Right, well, that went great, and I love Ice Spear. Let's get into Frost-infused weapons next. I want to try out a Wild Strike's Frost setup, so I get the Winged Sword insignia to buff attacks after landing multiple hits, then clear another cave in Altus for the Omenkiller Cleaver. As I'm doing this, I realize I've killed 2 remembrances, so I go to the Old Finger Lady and Round Table and grab my 3rd talisman pouch for even more power. And right about here, I realize I do not have the Glintstone Wetblade to make Wild Strikes do Frost. So we need to get into Raya Lucaria, gentlemen. And to do that, we need a weapon for Breadwolf. Luckily, one of the best weapons in the game is available to us now that we have killed Radahn. By going into his hole, we can get the Ghost Flame Torch. Yeah, I was being sarcastic. But this does have Frost, so let's use it. All I need to do now is get the key to Hogwarts front gate, and boom, we are into Raya and we can fight the goodest boy. We're gonna use the Ghost Flame Torch, because I think it'll be funny. Got Golden Vow to buff it, Warrior Jar Shards here, but mostly Magic Scorpion, Axe Talisman, Magic Tear, Spike Tear, Charge Attack Torch build. Alright, come here, let me poke you. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's a torch. How's jump attack look? Pretty good. All right, we're back to this. Go for it. Oh, my goodness. Getting a stagger on him is actually genuinely impressive. That boy usually moves too much. All right, shockingly, that torch was actually decent, even though it didn't manage to get a frost off. But I just wanted to try it at least once, so mission accomplished. Now that the wolf is dead, I can get my wet blade, and since I'm here, I decide I might as well face off against the tall Dami Mommy Rennala. For that, we need a new pointy stabby, so I bully a revenant with Ice Spear to access the Frozen Needle. This weapon has a unique heavy attack that launches a little ice projectile, which is actually pretty dope. So we're going to try it out. To maximize its potential, I also clap up Sweet Gillica's cheeks and get the Ritual Sword Talisman for a damage buff at full health. And in order to truly make sure I get this thing to its max damage, I return to Detroit to fight my boy, the Rock Dog. Killing him gives me a Somber Stone 6, as well as the Somber Bell-bearing 1 for the future. And finally, I upgrade my needle, and now we have the final build. A +6 needle as the main weapon with Golden Vow on my dagger. For tallies, I have Ritual Sword, Warrior Jar Shard, and the Winged Sword insignia, since this is a thrusting sword, so getting multi-hits going should be easy. I also have the Magic tier and Spike tier in my physic, but those aren't really that important. Let's give it a try. Oh, she gets spared because one of her little shitlings fucking put fire on me. You can one phase that. We're gonna Golden Vow. We're gonna drink a blue. Gonna poke her a couple times. Get into the next phase. Nice, great damage. There it is. Okay. This weapon isn't that bad. It took a little while to figure out, but okay. I mean, that was not a great weapon in terms of getting a frost off, but it was still a pretty quick and easy fight, so I won't complain. Still, this is a frost video, so let's lock in and start actually getting these enemies icy cold. And to do that, I'm gonna make a +12 cleaver with wild strikes and a frost infusion. This might actually be the most busted way to infuse a frost weapon, as we will have bleed and frost and really crazy damage. Let me explain the build and you'll see how this is all gonna come together. All right, here's the plan for DTS. We're busting out the Cold Great Omenkiller Cleaver. I think this is actually just straight up one of the best weapons in Elden Ring, set up this way with wild strikes. Golden Vow to buff it, then Ritual Sword, Warrior Jar Shard, and Winged Sword insignia, which all should be better for the damage buffing than Magic Scorpion with the split damage. Then we got Magic tier. We just gotta sneak up on him first. The Flask, L2, go. That was pretty good damage. Nice. Oh, hold that L, buddy. That shit is broken. You can see what I meant now, though. Moving forward, I run into the Glorious Capital and get one more Somber 6 before finishing out the run to our next boss, Godfrey. Tragically, this is one of the few bosses in the game that is frost resistant. So let's go find a frost weapon with good damage and see if it's still any good here without the actual status effect. I decide on the Dragonscale blade since it has ice lightning, like the Dragon Halberd, and the lightning part is better on piss free. The first step in getting there is facing off against the manifestation of my alcoholism. In lore accurate fashion, he is butt naked with a big stick, and I beat the brakes off him in vengeance for the issues he has caused me. Moving on, I can quick grab a free Somber 5 and then get the Finger Slayer blade. This lets me go back to Blue Mommy Ranni and progress her quest so I can teleport to Ainsol. As I make my way to the Lake of Rot, I find Blide's evil twin. He is weak to devious backshots though, so I take him down and get the Palace Key, which will be very useful later. After that, I can finally enter the Lake of Rot to fight this Dragonkin just vibing in the middle of it. This fight is genuinely ass because you have to stand in the chlamydia pond while you fight, so you're just always rotted. Luckily for me, Ice Spear is busted and I just spam as fast as I can to take down the big boy and get the dopest katana in the game. And now we are ready for the Piss Master. We got Golden Vow, my beloved, and Dragonscale Blade, because young Pissfree is weak to lightning. Ritual Sword, Warrior Jar, Wing Sword, then Lightning Tier. Please throw your axe at me. Damn. Well, that looks pretty good, I would say. That's a start for sure. Yeah, man. No chill, huh? He's kind of going ham right now. I've never seen this dude do this before. Usually a little more chill. Oh my god. GG's, my boy. GG's. Alright. You know, I normally say, like, Dragonscale and Dragon Halberd fall off at Capital, but that was pretty good. Okay. We have been cooking so far, but weapons are overrated. Let's try out a Frost spell next. Since I'm done with Ranni's stuff, I can get the Snow Witch Hat, which buffs ice sorcery damage by 10%. I also go grab the Meteorite Staff so I don't have to actually upgrade it and will still get good sorcery scaling. I do a quick little respec to get myself close to 40 int just to make sure the spell will have the stats it needs. And finally, I grab the Graven Mask Talisman, which buffs all sorceries by 4%. And now I'm ready to fight Margit 2, Electric Boogaloo. We are going to try out Glintstone Icecrag. We got Golden Vow to buff it, Meteorite Staff to cast, because Meteorite Staff to cool, Snow Witch Hat, and Ritual Sword is there, Raven School, and Magic Scorpion, and Magic Tier? I do not have a lot of faith in this. I'm gonna be super for real. Shit. I forgot the Golden Vow. It's fine. We're fine. There we go. Golden Vow. Alright. Then probably try... Oh, actually, you know what? That is not as bad as I thought. I thought that was going to be a lot worse. There's the Frost. Yeah, hook that shit, homie. Keep on going. Wait for him to finish this. A little early, but that's okay. Ah, he's dodging. This thing moves slow enough, it kind of doesn't matter if he dodges, though. Let's back up. It does have short range. I need to keep that in mind, but... There it is. Okay. You know, I kind of doubted the Icecrag. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. That's my bad. Damn. I think that was like 3 Frost, and it's so easy to hit with that spell. It's a goated option. Now we've unlocked the mountaintops, so I begin my epic journey over snow and rocks. Along the way, I can find a lot of materials like my first Somber 7, the Smithing Bell Bearing 3, and a Somber 8 before I finally arrive at the foot of the forge. Up next is the Fire Giant, and for this big boy, we need a heavy hitter. So I return to Hell to fight one of the most infamous Deathbirds in this entire game, and y'all probably already know this, but by killing him, I can get the Death Poker. Probably a top 5 weapon in the game, and one that very much relies on its Frost. In order to buff it, I head to Round Table to find Dead Rajir and get the Spellblade armor set. Each of these armor pieces buff Magic Ashes of War by 2%, and this very much works with Death Poker. And just to cover all my bases, I head into Caelid to get a Somber 9, then I kill 2/3 of the Blue Man group in a cave in Altus for the Somber Bellbearing 2. This finally lets me upgrade the Poker to +9, and I think this is gonna blast the fat bastard. So explain what all we just did. Still got Golden Vow, my goat, my beloved. We got a +9 Death Poker for the Ash of War. We have the Spellblade set for 2% buff to Magic Ash of Wars, which Death Poker is. Magic Scorpion and Warrior Jar Shard, then Ritual Sword is here in case I actually hit something, and Flame Drake is here. There's no other talismans. Then Magic Tier. And this should be probably one of the highest damage options we have. My only concern is running out of FP, but we will see about that. Alright, come here, you big fuck. Nice. I mean, can you really ask for much more to start a fight, dude? That feels pretty good. I'll say it. There we go. Phase transition. This grass feels good. Oh my Christ. Alright, let's just hope we don't die right here. Boom. Holy. Gross. That was definitely the most OP thing we've used so far. Let's keep it rocking. We have a lot more things to get in mountaintops, and our first stop is the giant conquering hero's grave. At the end of this dungeon, there's an ancient hero, and doing some light manslaughter on him gains me the Zamor curve sword. From here, I head over towards Niall's castle, where I find a random tibia fibia. Another count of manslaughter is added to my charges, and I get health and steeple. And now I can sacrifice my beautiful wife to light the tree of God on fire, and somehow send myself to Farum Azula. On my run through here, I get the Somber Bellbearing 4 before arriving at the Foreskin Duo. And for this, I shall allow past Ratty to explain the build. I got Zamor's Curve Sword with Golden Vow. Spellblade set might buff the Ash War because it is a magic Ash War, but I didn't see any info on that, so I don't think so. Since it is a magic Ash War, Warrior Jar Shard, Magic Scorpion, Ritual Sword in case I hit something, Sword Seal to wield it, Magic Tier. I'm just gonna run into the middle and see what happens. Alright, I die. Maybe I need Sleep Pots. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll compromise. I'm gonna give this 1 or 2 more tries here like this. And if I can't figure something out, we'll sleep them. All right, here we go. Oh! I got out. Holy shit. The kamikaze worked. Gentlemen, I think we are so incredibly up. All right, I'm gonna use sleep just to get the point of this damage through, I think. Go. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm convinced I can do this without sleep pots, low key. But honestly, if they separate and this guy just like jumps. Yeah, dude, see? Hold on. I'm cooking, and I forgot to drink my physics, so that wasn't even the full damage. We're so back. Dude, it's crazy. 2 of them stagger. What the fuck is that? That's nuts. Alright, that was bad manners. My bad. My bad, fatty. Hey, don't even need sleep, bro. Just press L2. It'll fucking work out at some point. Oh yeah, gentlemen. We're using the good shit now. That was cracked. I finished running through Farum, grabbing the Dragon Crest Shield and the Somber Bellbearing 5 before leaving so I can finish the mainline bosses later. I do have all the bell bearings now, so every weapon will be +9 or +24 for the rest of the run, which should help show off how good Frost is a bit better. Now we're gonna head to Estelle to finish Ranni's quest. This boss is another one that is resistant to Frost, but I'm sure I can make something work in spite of that. Here's the deal, gentle rats. We're giving Ice Spear another go here now that we have a full build. So Golden Vow, Spellblade set, Magic Scorp, Warrior Jar Shard, Ritual Sword, Winged Sword, Magic Tier. It's juicy. I actually remember how to dodge this. Oh yeah, there we go. Ignore those runes on the ground. Unsure how those got there. Alright, I can tell you how they got there. I fucking suck at the game. Oh shit. Why did that do so much damage? Oh no, that's just how much damage that does. Huh. Damn. What a dodge. Great fucking work right there, rat. Let's go. Okay. 45 degrees left. Boom. They won't hit me. They won't hit me. They won't hit me. They won't hit me. What'd I tell you? 45 degrees, gentlemen. Holy shit. Bite and blast. Bite and blast. Okay. So with a full build, Ice Spear is just even better. Sick. Yeah, Space Anal Beads may be frost resistant, but an Icicle to the Dome still clearly hurts a lot. To finish Ranni's quest, I have to get a proposal ring to wife her up and replace wife number 1. This lets me head up to the Moonlight Altar, and on my way to wife 2, I find Adula. She has a pretty dope ice spell, so I kill her with my beloved Ice Spear to get Adula's Moonblade for later use. Now I just have to go find Ranni, who has murdered some fingers, and ask her to marry me. Crazy you can get a wife in this game. In exchange, I get the Darkmoon Greatsword, perhaps the most iconic frost weapon, and we are good to go. Moving on, we can also go put Blide out of his misery, because he's gone crazy, and we get the Royal Greatsword. This weapon doesn't have innate frost, but the Ash of War does, so we can use that somewhere. And by somewhere, I mean on Nile. So I quickly go grab a parry shield, and now I'm ready to try out this big-ass sword. Royal Greatsword, which itself does not have frost damage, but the Ash of War does, so we're going to use that. Parry shield to make openings for it, Spellblade set, Sword Seal to wield the weapon, then just all the usual buff and stuff. Yo. What was that garbage? It's like one of the most annoying fucking stutters I've ever had. Yeah, man? Can you just be normal? No. God, no, why could we ever be normal? This is not easy. Especially when he just refuses to be normal. Yeah, keep her going. And now he's gonna jump in the air. So sick. Thank God. That was a mess. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best way to use that weapon, but it worked, so fuck it, we ball. From killing him, I can get the Haligtree Secret Medallion half 1, and then I just have to go kill Lil Old Albus and Liurnia to get the second half. Using the power of these 2 secret tokens, I can now enter the consecrated snowfields. I'm mostly doing this to get to Mohg, but I do make one pit stop at the tree avatar here. I wipe the floor with him since I kill at least 3 of these every time I do a run, and get the Thorny Tear to buff my damage after multiple hits. Now I just have to kill the Sanguine Noble on the west side of the snowfields to unlock the teleporter, and bang! We are into Mohg's palace. And normally I abuse Mohg, but let's try something different this run. Here's the deal for Mohg. Normally I bring in the shackle and like some wild strikes and some bullshit. Today we fight. I'm going Darkmoon Greatsword +9, the goat of goats. I'm just keeping the Spellblade armor on. I don't know what it does and doesn't work with, but it looks swag. Magic Scorpion, Warrior Jar, Ritual Sword, Axe Talisman, Magic Tear, Spike Tear. I think we're looking at doing some charge attacks here. I don't care about your melodrama, sir. How much range? Not that much range. Start the poise abuse early. Get him! Alright. Keep doing the greatsword thing of abusing stance. It's gonna keep giving me charge attack openings. I mean, I'm gonna keep taking them. Oh yeah, come on. Give me the frost right here. That's right. This weapon's so fun. It's gonna be really hard not to just use this the whole run. Fuck. I do take some time to level after Mohg and get myself to 40 Vig with currently 45 intelligence as well, which is maybe a little underleveled for the DLC, but I'm the GOAT, so let's just rip it. So far, this has been a very fun run. I've enjoyed it a lot. I start off with the usual DLC setup run where I get Oh Mother, the Horn from Ymir, and a bunch of Skadoosh fragments. I also drain the water in Church District to get to the Sunflower later, and that pretty much finishes setting up the DLC. Now we can get some of the cooler items. First, I get the Great Katana, which will be used shortly since we haven't messed too much with just infusing weapons. I also go and get Cragblade from the base game. This Ash ups damage by 15% and stance damage by 10%, which will be good when we try out the Frosty Great Katana. I also go get the Two-Handed Talisman for another 10% damage buff when I'm two-handing weapons, which has been pretty often so far. I finally sit down by Gaius and upgrade to Skadoosh 6, and now I just need to decide what I'm going to use here. I think I have an idea though. Guys, time. Got the People's Steeple, which is a weapon I really like. We're gonna go Magic Scorpion, Two-Handed, Ritual Sword, and Charge Attack with Magic and Spite tier. So Charge Attack's on Gaius with this. It could rip. There's definitely a world where this rips. All right, let's see if I know my torrent timing still. Nope. Just get fucked. Holy shit, I'm dead. I'm dead. Torrent! I need you to be better. It's always Torrent's fault. Listen, man, Torrent cooked me right there. Where were my iframes? Where were you when Gondor called for aid, Torrent? And then we try to be a little better about our timing here. It didn't work. Alright, close the gap so he doesn't charge. He charges anyway. Dude. Alright, should I lock in or should I just keep chatting away like a dum-dum? Tough choices. Yeah, man, I didn't want my iframes. That hits. He's gonna kick me. You bastard. Why would you do that? All right, what are we doing? Okay. Decent start. No frost yet. I might as well rebuff again here. Oh, we don't have to worry about the timer. There's the frost. Now we have the debuff too, so we're getting more damage. Oh! Oh. Okay, that actually felt really good. Greatsword with frost. Shockingly felt good. Who could have seen it coming? Okay, we got her done. The first DLC fight always feels rough, but that wasn't too bad. Killing Gaius gives me access to 5 more Skadoosh fragments, which gets me to level 9. That's about where I want to be, as I don't like going too far over 12 in the DLC, or it just gets too easy. Now I need to go south for more items, so it's through the Dragon Pit to Ancient Dragon Man next. Luckily, we have a great Katana with Frost and Wild Strikes, so as soon as the combo starts, Mr. Man is pretty much cooked, and he can't escape it. Boom. We love Frost. That is certainly a fight of all time right there. With him dead, we can move on and get a few interesting weapon options. First is Rings of Spectral Light, which is a spell that does frost and is actually really good. Then I also grab the Spirit Glaive and Spirit Sword. These both have Ashes of War that do frost like Royal Greatsword, but allegedly they are hot ass, so I might try to use them, but it's gonna have to be against an easier boss. Since we're already down here, I decided it's PK time. So we head into a hole that's slightly smaller than your mom's and make our way to the Skeletal Horseman. He's immune to frost, which sucks, so I think I'll just set up the highest damage build I can think of with frost on it and rip this. So we're going Golden Vow with Ice Spear, Magic Scorp, Two-Handed, Ritual Sword, Warrior Jar Shard, Magic Tier, and Rajir's set, which does buff it as well, which is kind of dumb, but fuck it, we ball. Once we land, we drink. We buff. And we hope we have enough blue flasks that we're fine. I didn't even think about that. Nice. Good AoE. Too far away? Yeah. Do I have time to drink this? Barely. This is a good attack opportunity, though. I should be able to get 1, 2. Oh, yeah. God, if he frosted, you could definitely skip a phase here. Nice. That's actually sick. Alright, fuck off so I can drink a blue. Good boy. 1, 2. Overhead slam. GG's. God, this shit's so busted, bro. Even on frost resistant boss, just cooked. Yeah, it was Ice Spear again. But I think for bosses where I can't frost, using something that still cooks is a good way to show how powerful these builds can be, even when they lose the status they literally crutch on. And that Ash is just a lot of fun. Now that I've killed Cumhorse though, I can get the Putrescent Cleaver, and to use it, I respec. I go for a more balanced build that will let me use most of what I've gathered with 45 Vig, 30 Strength, 20 Dex, and 20 Int. With that done, I can make my way into Bayle to fight the Lion. And I tried just the Cleaver here, but being honest, it felt very mid. No Frost yet either is pretty devastating. The Ash of War was really hard to use, and it just wasn't quite hitting how I'd hoped. So I decided to pivot. You know, I don't think that was it. One of the better builds in the game is dual wield jump attack builds. So I go get the Claw Talisman in Stormveil and the Raptor's Black Feathers in Sage's Cave, which both buff jump attacks. I also wasn't seeing frosts in my first few attempts, so I decided to add hefty frost pots to the build. To make those, I first need the cookbook and then the ingredients, which are just frozen maggots, white flesh mushrooms, and of course, the hefty pot itself. Now let me explain my full vision. Alright, here's the plan. Since fucking Putrescent Cleaver can't get frost, we're gonna use a hefty frost pot and then dual wield cold great axes with a jump attack build. So once we frost, we go in, we shit damage. Yes? Sick. Did it miss? Probably could have expected that. Hold on. Reset, reset, reset. Do something to let me throw this pot. It's gonna miss. No, that hit. So what, now he's 2 hits away from being frostable? God, love that hitbox. So sick. 3 hits? No. 4 hits. So 4 hits in 1 pot. This dude has some frost resistance. But boy, does he take damage once he's frosted. Ugh. Ugh. That was gross. Alright, it took some adjustments, but that was a very good build. I decided to grab another silly weapon before figuring out what I'm doing next. So I head into a jail and get a little lost before finally finding the chilling perfume bottle. While I did that, I decided Bayle was up next. So I make my way up the jagged peak all the way to the fight before realizing I have some problems. I want to use Rings of Spectral Light here, but in order to maximize the damage, I need the Gravebird Helmet in Inner Limb and the Prince of Death's Staff. So let's do the annoying thing first and actually get to Inner Limb. To do that, we'll start off by killing Romina so we can burn the second tree. In order to do that, I'm going to do a cold great katana. So it gets 125 frost buildup, which is a fuck ton. I just haven't really used a ton of stuff that's just infusing the weapons. We'll go Magic Scorpion, Two-Handed, Ritual Sword, Claw Talisman, because there's good jump punishes on Romina, and Magic Tier. Kind of suck at this boss, so we'll see how this goes. Craigblade for more poise. Let's get this one. Dodge. Dodge. Katana poke. Katana poke. Katana poke again. And again. Ow. Never mind. Not again. Stagger. No? Now we stagger. Beautiful. Damage looks okay. I can't say I'm super impressed. Can I get this? Oh, so close. How quick does she frost? No, we're not gonna find out right now. Pretty fucking fast, dude. Oof. That's good for me. No, it's not. No, it's not. There we go. I think a charge attack is just a stagger here. And then this is a frost. Oh, we're so close. Come on, finish with the frost. Boom. Alright, not super insane, but definitely not bad. I actually like that build a lot. Mixing Frost and Bleed is always crazy, and having the extra physical damage buff with the Frost when the weapon is also good just make the combo on Great Katana nutty. Anyways, Romina is dead, and I've forgotten that I also need to kill Messmer to get into Inner Limb. So, let's go get a new build for that. Messmer doesn't like Slash, and I want to do a Cold Infusion without Bleed, so I settle on the backhand blades for my weapon of choice. I then grab Divine Beast Stomp, since it's a Remembrance Ash of War that is Frost, so I just have to use it on this run. I then head over to Fate Godric and ice him to get the Godfrey icon for a 15% buff to charge skills and spells, which this Ash of War happens to be able to use. Finally, I respec into a build that has more dex and intelligence for better scaling with the backhand blades, and we're ready to take on the Snake Man. So we're going to try out Divine Beast Frost Stomp with backhand blades because Messmer's weak to slash, so might as well put him on a really good slash weapon. Got Rajir set, Magic Scorpion, and then Wing Sword and Ritual Sword for once he's frosted, get the blade some damage. Godfrey icon because it is a charged skill. Then Thorny Tier, Magic Tier. You gonna make me trade this or are you gonna take it? Good boy. Oh, that was clean. Keep an eye on the stamina here. Did I get the strafe technically right there? Instant frost. And he does go right into that. Ah! Alright. Now we get to play the game. Ouch. Alright, be careful. That hit? Scammed. Yeah, Messmer just likes running, man. Twice, huh? Boom. That was beautiful. That instant frost on the serpent is crazy. And getting it twice is also ridiculous. That was solid. Not the best thing we've used, but very good. Now we can finally finish this side quest that started when we got to Bayle and head into Inner Limb and get the Greatbird helmet to buff Rings of Spectral Light by 15%. And that was just part 1 of the side quest. For part 2, I need to get into Deeproot Depths. There are a couple of ways to do that, but for this run, I decided to do Valiant Gargs with Darkmoon Greatsword. And I thought this fight was going to be giga ass, because it usually is, but I was wrong. This is going to suck. Oh. This weapon absolutely melts these guys, and in no time flat, I have them both down and can hop into the mystery coffin to teleport to the depths. And here, I just have to go up some branches, and I can get the Prince of Death's staff for another 10% buff to my rings. I respec into a full imp build, which gets me to 56 intelligence, and decide I might as well get to 60. So I just go and kill some shit and grab some big runes around the map until I can finally get those last 4 levels. This lets me use the Carrion Regal Scepter, which is the highest scaling staff in the game, and with that, we've achieved maximum juice on Spectral Rings of Light. Let's see how good it is on Bayle. So after like a full side quest involving 2 remembrance bosses, we have the Bayle build. This is probably much later in the video than it was supposed to be, but it was a fun sidetrack. So we got Carrion Regal Scepter online with 60 int. To buff Rings of Spectral Light, which is what we'll use, we got Prince of Deaths, Gravebird, Magic Scorpion, Godfrey Icon, Grabbing School. Dragon Crest to help out a little bit here, then Magic Tier. If memory serves, this shit kind of shreds, but we're gonna find out. Drink. Let's 2-hand this and let's get it, brothers. All right, we begin. We begin the long dance. God, that is just stupid. Oh no, your roar can't hurt me now because I'm not trying to hit your fuck-ass head. Suck me, old man. Uh-oh. I kind of felt that one hitting me in my bones. Dude, it's like playing Night Rain. Just back up and cast. You know, if we go again, I could definitely bring in more red, too. I thought with low mind, using a spell would be a problem, but just really isn't. There's a frost. Jesus Christ. Nice nuke. Jesus Christ. This is nice. That was good damage. Let's see if we can dodge this. Nope. Doesn't matter though, I still gotta heal. We're good. We're so not good. I'm about to get clapped. Right, and we're back to actually playing the game. Let's go. Jesus Christ. The cast time is a little spooky. Where's the last frost? Come on. I know you wanna. There it is. I mean, that was a journey. The fight was pretty free, and honestly the damage was good, but Bayle is just a chunky guy. Moving on, we're going to make our way down to Young Sunflower. And the first thing I tried here was Adula's Moonblade. And it looked good, but honestly, I really like showing this tree who's boss, so I decided to get something better. I head back to Moonlight Altar and solve a puzzle to get into the Rise and get Ranni's Darkmoon. This thing has a stupid high int requirement, so I run around and kill a couple of dragons for money and get to 69 intelligence. My idea was to use Darkmoon to get the damage and a debuff on the tree, then use Rings of Spectral Light, but the damage was actually way worse on this idea, so that is also just not gonna work. I think spells are off the table, so I respec to get my int down a bit and add those levels into 20 strength and 20 dex, which will let me use more weapons before settling on another build. And like I said, I really want what I think will be the best option for this fight, so don't judge me too much. Just like mama always said, bro, 15th time's the charm. Did he actually frost right there? Huh. You look at that. He does frost. I didn't believe it. I was wrong. Kinda just gotta spam a little bit. Too far? Yeah. Oh! Okay, hold on. I know I can't hit him right there. So why do I try? I feel like I was dodging. Oh, we got a frost again? Oh, he goes too far up for that to hit him. That's kind of funny. Now I get that dodge, and does this hit? Does. That doesn't. There we go. Alright, am I gonna get the jump dodge right here? I think is the big question. Apparently the answer is yes. Boom. Ooh. It was Ice Spear. The answer was Ice Spear. In order to make up for my sins, I will use the Perfume bottle next. To make sure it's going to hit kinda hard, I get the Perfume Talisman to buff the damage, then head back to Hogwarts to initiate a consensual kidnapping to get to Volcano Manor. And the victim of the Perfume bottle will be the Fat Godskin. And I tell you what, these things are actually alright. They frost really quickly, and the raw damage is not that bad. They aren't astounding by any means, but I expected this to be hot dog shit, and they're more like borderline serviceable. So I finish up Fatty in about a minute and a half and head into Volcano Manor to get some key items for our next boss, Rellana. I always like testing crit builds in these using only one thing runs, so I get the Dagger Talisman and Royal Knight's Resolve, both to buff my riposts, before heading into Stormvale to get the crit weapon, the Misericord. And now we can go over the Rellana build. So we are testing how good riposts are with Frost, and I feel like they should be better once we get the Frost debuff on than with anything else we've seen in like the using X only runs. So we're going Magic Scorpion, two-handed Talisman, so I can two-hand and get the buff for that when I ripost. Wing Sword, because I'll be kind of chopping at her to get the Frost. Dagger Talith, and Magic Tear. There we go. Back up, get this. $584 again. What about now? 7,000. Jesus Christ. Run. Right, should be one more, so let's hit that. I need a run. Jesus Christ. Nice, man. Oh, she is sucking the life out of me. There we go. Maybe just try to get her frosted again right here. Jesus Christ. There we go. GG's. Yeah, that was busted. We love a crit build here. Up next, I'm going to knock out one of the more annoying runs and make my way to Midra. So it's a long-ass traversal to Darklight and then through Darklight until I get to Jory. And I took the opportunity of a minor boss being in my way to once again bust out Death's Poker. And believe it or not, if you backstabbed and used the Ash of War on him, you can get a lot of damage out very quickly. It was legitimately the fastest I've ever killed this nerd, so that felt pretty good. Yeah, man, just stand and bang. All right. That was a fight of all time, for sure. Now it's another very long run through a nearly empty forest and then through a slightly less empty mansion to arrive at the Lord of Chaos. And on my first attempt, I did try to use the Spirit Glaive Ash of War, and it sucked. The full Ash of War has a really long animation, and the short one does not do a lot of damage. This might be my least favorite thing I've used, and after seeing that, I'm not interested in trying to make that or the Spirit Sword work. They suck. End of story. So, on to plan B. So new plan, after a little bit of Midra testing, we're going back to Zamor's, my beloved. We're going to keep a Misericord strapped because we're going to poise abuse the shit out of him. Got Magic Scorpion, Warrior Jar, Ritual Sword, Dagger, Magic Tear, Thorny Tear. Trust the process. I mean, can you really ask for a better start to a fight than that? I don't think I can. Oh, I missed it. Get bullied. Oh, missed the dodge. Get the heals. Get fucked. Get fucked. Oh! Yay, plan B worked. I did have to trade my life out for Midra's, but I respawn, so that's tough looks for him. With Flamehead out of the way, we are going to take on the other really annoying boss to get to, Matyr. For this, I have to go all the way through the Hinterlands to Blowhorn 1, then all the way through the Cerulean Coast to Blowhorn 2. Then I have to sniff a chair, and bang, Matyr's unlocked. Let's get her done. The plan for Matyr is simple. We're going to go with the People's Steeple here, because I think this is my highest damage Greatsword in terms of raw damage. And once I frost her, like all I'm concerned about is that raw damage and getting charged R2s. So we're going to run this. Two-handed, Magic Scorpion, Axe Talisman, Ritual Sword, Magic Tear, Spike Tear. I mean, this should just be a pretty straightforward fight. Nothing too fancy. I just want to give Steeple another try now that we've progressed in the DLC. Give it another chance to shine. Let's buff up, because that's the only way to get frost. And let's see how my biggest bully is doing, bro. Matyr loves to just fuck my day up. Holy shit. That is a lot of damage. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Why is Steeple so fucking busted? Need a buff again. Did not get that dodge at all. And just leave a hole right in front of her. Yes, I can. Nice. Oh, yo, wait. This is going to be really close. Yeah, no phase transition. God damn, bro. Phase skipping Matyr gets me bricked. I'll say it, gentlemen. And with that, the DLC is essentially complete. I just have to go back to Inner Limb, and one of the only things left in my way is the Three Stooges. Fortunately for me, Great Katana with Wild Strikes is a thing that does exist, so it's very easy to back these dudes into a wall and just bully the shit out of them, bringing me up to fight one of Elden Ring's biggest boogeymen, Promise Consort Radahn. And I have a pretty great plan for this one. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's probably a lot of better stuff I could use here. I could like parry and use a cold sword lance, or I don't know, poke. But I think it would be cinema to use Darkmoon Greatsword. It's Ranni's Consort versus Omenkiller's Consort, gentlemen. Nothing new, nothing strange. Let's get this bread. I follow the rules. I set the rules. But I do follow them once I've set them. Oh, come on, give me good move selection. That's about as good as it gets. Is this a charge attack window? It is. All right. Jump at me. I did not mean that jump, but I will certainly take that jump, man. Thank you. Nice. And we're back. Awkward footing right here. Not gonna lie. Don't love the terrain I'm in. Good move. Can I see anything? No. Does it matter? Oh. Oh. Oh, what is happening? Yeah, man. Jesus Christ. No, I can see. Holy fuck. There's a frost. What the fuck just happened, man? He has no health left. So, I mean, it went good. But do I know how the fuck any of this happened? No. Nice. GG's, motherfucker. Woo! That was a lot of fun. That definitely wasn't a look how good Frost is on this boss situation. But that was a lot of fun. Mommy Ranni's consort prevails, and now I can return to the base game, and it's time to take on one of the few true boulders of this run, Rykard. Without Serpent Hunter, he is always annoying, but let's solve the first problem of being able to stand in his lava. First, I get the Bullgoat Talisman to increase my poise. Then I grab Lionel's armor, which will give me very high base poise. High enough that the lava will take a long time to stagger me, so I'll actually be able to fight. And while I was doing that, and thinking about how bad this fight could be, I remembered the obvious answer for how to deal with this. The plan is in fact simple. We're going to Death Poker Rykard. We got Lionel's armor, Bullgoat, and Flame Drake to be able to stand there and bang with him. Warrior Jar, Magic Scorp, and Magic Tear. It could not be simpler. But I think because he auto resets Frost, and this is Death Poker, he does just get ripped right here. Oh, he got me. Do I get one more cast? Yes, I do. Holy shit. That might be faster than Serpent Hunter, bro. I mean, that's definitely faster than Serpent Hunter. What the fuck? Hold on. But is it as good in phase 2? That's, you know, you never know until you're in phase 2. Yeah, see, it did slow down. He's backing up and shit. Alright, let's get the heal. This should hit. Put it on his brain. Smooth brain shit. I think, yeah, this one is GG's, gentlemen. Dude. This weapon's so fucking dumb. You know, that might have actually been easier than fighting him with the Serpent Hunter. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Let's try something more unique next, though. I head to the Dragon Church and buy Ice Breath. These Dragon Breath spells can be very good, but they need a few things to buff them. First off, the Dragon Communion Seal, which will buff all Dragon Incants. Then the Roar Medallion, which buffs breath attacks. And finally, I get the Erd Tree Seal to cast with, which is the strongest seal in the game. In order to use it effectively, I respec into 80 Faith, and now I'm ready to bully a boss. I decide on the Moose and head underground to light some torches and unlock the fight. Now we can see if Dragon Breath is actually worth using. Here's the plan. We got Dragon Ice. We got a +9 Erd Tree Seal with 80 Faith, Golden Vow, Dragon Communion Seal for buffing, Magic Scorpion Roar, Ritual Sword, Dragon Crest, Magic Tear, and gentlemen, we're about to shit damage. I tell you what. Oh, don't you run. Don't you run. Oh. Dude, poor Regal always gets bullied so hard. Well, that wasn't fair at all. You'll love to see it. Rich Dragon 40 stacks is the last boss I need to clean up before returning to the main line, so we head back to Liurnia to the Carrion Tower, which we just have to traverse to get the Curse Mark of Death. Having attained that, I respec again back to a full int build with 80 int to use more spells. Since I've already been to Deeproot on this run, I can pretty much just run right to the arena and square up with Fia's chumps. And Rings of Spectral Light just bullies here. This spell moves way too fast for these poor fuckers to dodge, and unlike with Bayle, it is absolutely shitting damage, so it's a quick GG go next, and we are on to Putrescent. So we're gonna go Ranni's Darkmoon here with backup Rings of Spectral Light, if it doesn't work out. We got 80 Intelligence in the Carrion Regal Scepter, Snow Witch Hat, buffs Ranni's Moon, Magic Scorpion, Godfrey's in case we have to use Rings of Spectral Light, Ritual Sword, Graven School, Magic Tear, and again, Faith Tear in case of Rings of Spectral Light. But I'm hoping the Moon just does what I need it to do. Fingers crossed. Let's get close enough to make sure that it hits. That's pretty solid damage. Oh, that's much better damage. What the fuck? Where was that? I'm getting hit by this. Shit. I actually drank 2 blues. He's dodging that for sure. Or not. Or he can just take it like a good boy. Alright, one more. Oh. Yeah, that's nasty. That's despicable. And wrong. And I would gladly do it again. That's how you use Ranni's Darkmoon right there. That was sick. Before I nuke the capital, I make a quick stop to get Ritual Shield and Spiky Balls. It just feels wrong to leave them behind. I want to use Adula's Moonblade next on the big furry, but we already have everything we need for that, so let's get into it. For this fight, I'm using Ranni's Moon to debuff him, then ripping Adula's Moonblade. To buff those, I have the Snow Witch Hat, the Magic Scorpion Charm, Grab and School Talisman, and Ritual Sword, as well as the Magic Tier. I also have Dragon Crest since I had an open talisman slot, but this should still rip. I think this will be pretty chill. This is good because he does the whole intro. Holy shit. That's damage. I did not dodge. God damn. The cast time is a little long on Adula's is the only thing, but the damage looks good. There we go. Right, we should be able to get a couple in right here. That's nice. But where the fuck is my frost, gentlemen? I don't know if it matters if I get the frost. He's just gonna get fucking bullied. Oh, there's the frost. Too much damage. Oopsies. Yeah, poor kitty man got cooked there. That was unfortunate. And up next is Gideon. So, you know I'm going to do something evil because I fucking hate that guy. Now, I could try something new on Gideon, but I enjoy disrespecting him. We've got Death's Poker back out. We got Golden Vow. Got Rajir set. Got Magic Scorp. It's the Death's Poker build. You know what it looks like. We're going to hurt him.
To become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend you, alas.
Oh, he dodged. Good thing I got a boom. How dare you? Legitimately? How dare you? You think this is funny? You think this is fun for either of us? Holy shit. He might be the strongest opponent for Death's Poker. I mean, still not that strong of an opponent, but fuck that guy. It's always fuck Gideon here. Even he can't escape the DP. Up next is the real G Godfrey, and I still owe you guys a real Perfume boss fight, so why not rip it here? We got the Perfume bottle, Magic Scorp, Perfumer Talisman, Claw Talisman, Warrior Jar Shard to maybe try to use the Ash of War, Magic Tier, Thorny Tier. And this might be hot ass, but I think it might be doable. Not outstanding damage. Gonna be super for real with you. Also, no frost yet is crazy. Although the stamina usage... There's the frost. Very nice here, actually. This is a boss that takes a lot of stamina normally. I wonder if you get a stance break if you're fast enough. Oh, you can't get 2 in. That Ash of War did not seem very good, did it? Actually, you know what? I thought this was going to be hot ass. And it's definitely not, like, great. But it's better than I was expecting. Couldn't dodge that. Heal. Uh-oh. I did trade a lot of hits. Can I even trade? I think just every hit does a lot of damage. There's that frost. So if there was a tier list of the weapons I've used so far, those perfume bottles are near the bottom, but that was a late game boss and they got it done. So they're not the worst thing we've used. That would be Spirit Glaive. And it was right here I realized I'd forgotten about old Placidusax, but what to do about him? Well, first I respec into a build with 60 int, 20 dex, and 44 strength so I can infuse and use Dane's footwork with frost. Allegedly, this is a sick frost weapon, and since chat really wants it, we can give it a shot. And the only thing I was missing for a build with these was the Shattered Stone Talisman, which buffs kick attacks. This talisman was almost certainly made exclusively for the hand-to-hand weapons to thrive, as most of the moveset is kicks. And now it is once again time to explain the build. We're gonna go with Dane's Cold Footwork. So allegedly it's very good. To buff it, we got Raptor's Back, Black Feathers, Magic Scorp, Ritual Sword, Shattered Stone Talisman, which does buff just kick attacks, and Claw Talisman, as well as Magic Tier, Thorny Tier. And the goal is gonna be jump, double kick. Couldn't be simpler. Probably also gonna use the Ash Award to try to get the frost off early here, I think. Yeah, I think we need the frost. Oh, that's gonna hit me. Not angry at the damage at all. Oh, what do you mean I didn't get out of the way? Actually sug my entire, bro. I do have Ritual Sword on. Alright. Holy shit. Actually got a stagger. Wait, what is the poise damage on these then? That's crazy. There's the frost too. And the damage really steps up after you frost. It's not a bad phase 1. Got hit by some stupid shit, but in general, I mean, for the phase transition, that's pretty good health. That's really good damage. Holy. I may have underestimated Dane's footwork, gentlemen. Alright, I'll just get clipped by some nonsense. Why not? Do some shit I want to see. Yeah, like that. So I can get in the gooch. He escapes. Oh! I think we'll probably get a stagger right here. Depends on if he saved that. Holy. Only one frost, so not the best frost option, but shit, the damage on that is stupid. 2 bosses to go, and up next is my personal favorite, Malenia. So we go to the Hallig Tree and face off with her guardian, Real Loretta. I just pulled out one of the goats of the run, Ice Spear, and ran her through a couple times just to get through this section quickly. I knew that Ash was good, and honestly, it's probably the second best thing we've used besides Death's Poker. Anyways, there's a lot more running to get to Malenia, and now we need the build. I'm going full cheese on this one by getting the Sword Lance from Gaius' Remembrance. If you don't know why, just trust me on this one. So we got the Cold Sword Lance here, plus 25, because it gets 153 Frost buildup, which I'm not sure if it's actually the biggest number in the game, but it's fucking close. That's a lot of Frost. We're gonna go with Magic Scorpion, Ritual Sword, Warrior Jar, Two-Handed Talisman, Magic Tier, Thorny Tier. So I'm gonna have the Frost Pots on standby in case she tries to waterfowl me. Just in case. Hopefully I don't need to heal, because I don't like switching my bar. Oh. There we go, good dodge for once. Nice. Oh, that was gross. Okay, don't let her kill you. She's gonna fucking fuck my shit up right here. There we go. Get the pot out. It hits. Where's my frost? Oh, fuck. That's clones. I have no stamina. There's the frost. Pretty exceptional start to phase 2. Ow. Ouch. Definitely should have dodged under her right there, but I am a pussy. I can do it too. Yeah. Okay, this weapon kind of bullies the shit out of her. That was mean. And then there was one boss left. And tragically, while Radahn does Frost, Elden Beast is immune to all status effects. So I pulled out the strongest Frost weapon in the game. Frosty Spiky Balls, baby. I'm being dead serious when I say that this combo is so busted if the enemy also bleeds. But even without that, I'm sure it'll rip here. I got Magic Scorpion, Ritual Sword, Axe and Claw Talismans, and the usual Magic and Spike tiers in the Physic. Let's see how the best weapon in the game does with Frost. Bang. Bang. Oh. You don't want to do the script, huh? I suppose I forgot to Crag Blade. That would do it. Oh well. He still gets absolutely fucking smoked. And now we can Crag Blade. My boy got cooked. It's crazy. This is the best Frost weapon in the game. But also not surprising. I think we all knew. Give me that. Jesus Christ. He gets away. But I fucked around and didn't use a buff routine, and he almost didn't. Come here, funny man. Me about to ignore Elden Stars like a fucking madman. I don't know if I've ever ignored that attack that hard before. Yeah, man? I mean, I respect you for trying, but no shot. Best weapon in the game. Best frost weapon in the game. Boss couldn't even frost, and it still just fucking dies. And that's Elden Ring using only frost. Honestly, it might be better than bleed. The damage debuff and the fact that you can almost always use magic buffing items with your weapons means the raw damage you get is just so high. There were definitely spots where it fell off, and in the end, I had so much damage I wasn't seeing the frost as often, but it was always really good. If you have any other stuff you want me to try, let me know in the comments, and also check out the Elden Ring race I did with Bushy and Torsads. It's pretty dope. Until next time, be good, be kind, adios.